Hey all, Starshin here. Today, I want to talk about Rad. Rad is a Cities and Knights player, and like every Cities and Knights player, he knows this moment. Spotlight is on him. Dealing with the pressure is almost impossible when everyone waits for his decision. Which progress card should he pick? In this video, I want to try to answer if one of the three decks is the ultimate answer and outclasses the other two decks. Let's check this out. Alright, so to get started, we first need to have a look at every deck individual, and need to know how are the cards distributed. There are 25 progress cards and every deck contains 18 progress cards. The distribution of the 25 cards to the decks is not balanced though. While the trade deck only contains 6 different cards, Politic has 9 and Science has even 10 different cards. That means that the yellow deck has less variety of effects, which is actually something good though, because you are more likely to get what you expect. The yellow deck contains cards that help you if your hand is completely stuck. 8 of the 18 cards give you a 2-for-1 trading option with the bank. With a Research Monopoly or a Master Merchant, you can add cards to your hand which go well with your other cards. Commercial Harbor and Trade Monopoly give you a chance to get commodities, to play the ones you already have in hand, and are also the best way to get the aqueduct faster. However, compared to the Science cards, the yellow deck does have a very high chance that you only get the trading option and not any new cards. Especially in the beginning of the game, when you don't have too many cards in hand, other players are more likely to trade with you, which makes you less dependent on trading with the bank and therefore lowers the power of the yellow cards. But moving on to the next deck for now, the green deck is considered to be the strongest deck. During my last couple of Cities and Knights games, I paid a lot of attention whenever someone got to choose a progress card, and the winner of the most picked cards was, kinda clear. With almost 90% of the picked cards being green ones, it is not really a close battle. Of course, the sample size is not really big, but especially at the start, almost everyone picks up a green card, which also makes a lot of sense. Most of the Science cards give you a resource bonus, which can be different in its form from card to card. Mining and Irrigation give you cards from the bank. Road Building, Engineer, or Smith give you free buildings, and Medicine and Crane reduce the building's cost. At the start, you want to increase your production, and the green cards are the best ones to help you with that. But keep in mind that 2 of those cards are very situational and can be of no use at all. I'm talking about Irrigation and Mining. The strength of those 2 cards can be very different from game to game. If you don't have any wheat or ore tiles, picking up a Science card can be very high risk. Speaking of risk, last but not least, the blue cards do have several strong cards, and with the Intrigue card, the deck also might contain one of the strongest cards in the game. However, the chance of picking up a useless card like the Deserter or Spy is pretty high. If you are far behind though in the mid or end game, taking a risk can be worth it, and gambling for the True Love or one of the other good cards of this deck can make sense. Alright, so coming back to the question of this video, well, there is definitely not a general answer on this. In my opinion, yellow cards can definitely be worth it to be also picked, especially if you plan on going for the aqueduct soon or you don't have a merchant in the end phase. The merchant is 6 times in the deck and gives you a point, which is very valuable in the end game. Something you should also pay a lot attention is which cards have already been played and in which order they were played. Progress cards get never shuffled. If a card gets played, you put it under the deck. Therefore, if for example the first green progress card which is played is a road building, you definitely know that the 19th card of the deck will also be a road building. This knowledge can come handy if the game takes long and many progress cards are distributed. Also important, if many good cards have already been played, and there weren't many cards distributed of one deck, the remaining cards might not be good for you, and you should maybe take from another deck. Basically, I could talk about this topic forever, but that will probably be too boring. I hope you picked up 1 or 2 things which might help you for your decision next time. Write me in the comments if you have ever picked something else than a green card, and if so, how shocked were your opponents? Have a nice day, and see y'all.